Hi and welcome, it's Dave, the train guy from Hobbies by Hearns. Today we're going to do a bit of a retro throwback to the 1960s. And we will be doing the Triang Crash Set. Okay, just a disclaimer on this one. If you're under the age of 60, I'd probably advise go and have a cup of tea and watch the next video. But if you are over the age of 60, this is going to really make you quite happy. Now, were you one of those kids that left drool marks down to the toy shop window or the newsagent window when they used to sell model trains? Well, that's exactly the sort of person that the set is aimed at. Or did you not earn enough pocket money from your paper runs? Yeah. Okay, well, Hornby in last year, this is actually a release going back to 2022, but because of everything else that's happening in the world, they've delayed the release of this kit, but it's the Triang Retro Crash Set, which was quite popular in the day. I think they sold something like 3,800 units back in 1963, so it was definitely a favourite. And Hornby celebrating Triang anniversary, which they finished up production in 1972, or ceased to exist as a company in 1972 and got incorporated into Hornby, are celebrating the fact that, yeah, their 50th anniversary plus. So here we go. Now, Triang was a famous brand throughout the English Commonwealth, especially in Australia, New Zealand and Canada, but even though most of the time it was made in the UK, but for a while it was actually manufactured in Australia and was exported throughout the English Commonwealth. And one of the factors that made it popular was it was quite affordable. They were the first people really to introduce plastic into model trains. At the time, Hornby was still producing models that were made out of die cast, and Triang, being more of a toy manufacturer, made it affordable by introducing the newfangled plastic material. But anyway, onto the unboxing. As we can see here, we've got your typical 1960s nuclear family when children were obedient and wore ties, and there's not even a single smart device in this picture here. Their only concern in the world would be probably nuclear Armageddon with Russia, because it was during the 1960s and, you know, everyone was worried about nuclear war. Or are they? Anyway, here we go. So the box is very much reminiscent of the original. And believe me, there are lots of fanatics out there who still love their Triang, and there are still collectors out there. In some very rare cases, you might actually find some Triang product out there in the original boxing. But yeah, it all looks authentic. So off with the cover. Here we go. Hornby have actually gone out of their way to actually make this look as original as possible. So here we go. What you get, and this is rather unusual, and I'll have a disclaimer first. And the first one is, if you don't have a seniors card, yeah, switch off and watch something else. But the other is, it doesn't come with a transformer. In the day, it would have come with a huge, big metal boxy transformer, and because this is more of a retro memory set, it doesn't come with a transformer. So you get everything else, but you don't get a transformer. Now we get an oval set of track, predominantly all curves, and the only concession they have to the modern age is they actually do specify it in metric as well. So 4 foot by 3.5 inches, or 1210 by 1040. Okay. You got this little Hornby Ginty, which is actually standing in, probably for a less detailed Triang model. And this has probably got a lot more detail than the original ever did. And probably the only thing that, yeah, things like brass whistles, guards or window bars is actually all Hornby, but they've tried to make it look like a Triang model. And the BR lion emblem is probably a little bit oversized, keeping with the actual model. Moving along, because it was a crash set or a recovery derailment set, you get a crane. This would have been a train that would have tore off at a moment's notice to fix up a derailment. And because of its toy-like nature, you get this crane, and that to me, looks very original. Big, chunky pizza cutter plastic wheels, split axles, just don't you love them? And, oh, how's that for a bit of, oh yeah, don't worry about DCC sound. Working boom. We'll just put that back. Now, one thing probably a lot of people are going to ask, is the Loco DCC ready with 8-pin or next gen 18 decoder? Ready? No. But who cares? And then we have the crew coach. Again, I'd say this is pretty close in some respects to the original, but I'd say it's out of Hornby's range from probably about 20 years ago. And it would have been a pretty old coach in the day. District engineers coach for the blokes that would be stopping in for a cup of tea while they're re-railing a derailed wagon in the yard, or an express train that came off the rails. And what else do you get? A little jib wagon. This would have been for what the boom would have rested on. Again, I think this was actually pulled out of the Hornby's current lineup, or part of it was. So, but as you can tell, it sort of basically creates the effect. So if you did miss out on the train set, I think this would be your reward for waiting for the last couple of decades. And what else do you get? And some straight track. So it does actually have 2 straight sections of track. And you get an uncoupler, so you can couple up and recouple. And a power clip, but again, no transformer. So there you have it. The Hornby, or I should say, Triang Crash Set. If you missed out, here's your chance to get another one. All right, bye for now. And if you are interested in this, it is available online, or you can come and visit us in store at either Flinders Street or at Hobby Man, and you can, of course, get it online. So until next time, happy modelling. Okay, talk soon. Bye.